me feeling like I'm academics. Can't.
You know, I've done this before. Okay. Live Nation is, in my opinion, I'm editorializing a little bit here. They are the epitome of what a monopoly honestly is. They have essentially bought up all the subsequent business that go into live concerts. What does that mean? They have looked to control the market from top down, okay? From having exclusive licenses with the venues. Like venues can't go do outside shows unless they agree. Basically making it where they have these ironclad contracts. They control the venues. They control the parking lots. They control what food goes in there, what alcohol could be served. They then have sales teams that do particular deals with alcohol companies. They at one point they were beefing with Ticketmaster, even trying to create their own ticketing system, and then literally they merge with Ticketmaster, which means Ticketmaster is now part of it. Live Nation owns 400 companies, subsidiaries, right? They either own wholly, they either have some type of equity, or they have some type of control or some type of deal that is heavily in the favor of Live Nation that prevents anybody else from competing. This includes even festivals, right? For example, Rolling Loud, Wireless, Live Nation, make sure they have their hand in the pot, okay? And based on that, what happens is that Live Nation, they actually leverage themselves to artists, where they tell artists, hey, listen now, we don't care how popping you are. You're going to take this. You're going to go out on the road for 50 days and you're going to take this. We've seen Drake even say, I'm a slave right now for Live Nation. When people have tried to go against the curve and say, hey, no, you know what? Live Nation's offering me $400,000. I think I could make $650 going with another company because I'm really hot right now. Live Nation usually, allegedly, goes with a lot of propaganda to make sure that artist looks unsuccessful. They basically have created the whole infrastructure of live touring, or not created, but they've like popularized it, and are a monopoly in the eyes of many because you can't go around them. There's no more competition. The idea here is if you could only drink the same bottle of water, or I don't know, what's this popping water where y'all from? I'll say Poland Spring. It's around where I'm at. If Poland Spring could say, if you want water and you're not drinking Poland Spring, there's no Deer Park, there's no what else? Dasani, there's none of that. If you want water, you got to drink Poland Spring. If Poland Spring then says, hey, listen, the price of the brick going up, you're going to have to pay it or you're going to have to starve. So they've turned into a monopolistic element where it fucks people over. And the reason why it went to court is really one reason. I do want to give you a little bit of history here. I want to give you a little bit of history in terms of touring and shows and how things have gone. By the way, just out of curiosity, if you guys don't know how much big business this is, the CEO of Live Nation, his name is Michael Rapino. He's the CEO of Live Nation. His salary in 2024, they claim, I think this might be a base package, but $33 million. 2023, I don't think that, no. Okay, $23 million. But the interesting thing is that Live Nation's been on fire for 4 years. And 4 years ago, they noticed the CEO made $139 million. When your CEO makes $139 million in a calendar year, that means that boy contract is good. That means every month he's making about $12 million. How is he making that much? Live Nation in its very inception was a concert promoter. How is a concert promoting company CEO making $12 million a fucking month? How? Now, if you're paying the CEO that, what about the other executives? What about the other shareholders and everybody else? So this guy was eating good. They got mad at him when they seen that. Like, what the fuck? Then he reduced the money. Like, okay, he's not getting any more. Obviously there was some stock stuff there too. That there was some incentives, but to be fair. But after that, 2023, all right, Okay. You know what I mean? He only made 25 million, right? He didn't make 140, right? Still, the idea of Live Nation has been really interesting. I'm gonna give you a little bit of backstory of what it is. Back in the day, and this is how I've told you about just like monopoly when it comes to music. Music is meant to be a monopoly. It's meant to be a monopoly, especially in its very inception. It's a reason why there's only 3 companies that own about 85 to 90% of the streaming of the most streamed catalog on a year-on-year basis, which is Sony, Warner, and Universal. That technically wouldn't be a monopoly since it's 3 companies, but I think it's called it's not a duopoly. That would be 2. It's called is it triopoly? I can't remember what it is. 3-way monopoly. What is it called? It's going to tell me right now. It is called a triopoly. Yes. Okay. So it's a triopoly, right? In many situations, in many cases, music is meant to be that. Why do I say that? Well, in the very inception of music, it was seen that there was a barrier of entry, right? You needed money to print records up. You need money to create music. In some of these things, like, a recording studio or the cost to really like put a song from paper all the way to printing it up, even a few copies, sometimes would go up to 100,000. It was a very expensive game to get into. Equipment, recording equipment, microphones, production equipment. All of these things cost thousands of dollars. What you see in Fruity Loops and Reason and all these other things, GarageBand and Pro Tools, whatever you might use if you're into that. It might cost you like $1,000 for the software, or it might just come free with your iOS, or not iOS, but OS X with your laptop. But back then you had to pay thousands of dollars. So the main thing in terms of gatekeeping was that you needed money, right? You needed money to make a record. Then you need money to put out a record. You need money to promote a record. It was a big barrier of entry when you need people that had a significant amount of cash to be able to commit and invest in this industry. So what did that do? Well, it basically meant that everybody who was trying to survive without a huge bankroll were going to either get run out of business or bought up. So you get these companies that kind of like, all consolidate into these bigger companies. And so you get UMG, and then you get Sony, and then you, of course, get Warner. Those have been the 3 for a long time. Now, that's not the only part of like this, monopoly type mentality. So that's a triopoly. That's the records and the record label. But I'm telling you, every part of music is about monopoly. By the way, we've talked about monopoly before, or monopolies before. That's kind of one of the things that people have been thinking about in terms of this whole sale of Warner Brothers, right? Netflix wanted it. Then you have ByteDance, Paramount ByteDance, who eventually did get it. But the idea behind it is that if Netflix they own most of the streaming or online streaming market. If they could get the movie making market as well, they could pretty much control film. But the same thing could be said about Paramount ByteDance. But the owner of that, or the dad of the guy who owns that, his name is Larry Ellison, a guy who's kind of cool with the administration. And you can see politics as usual. Okay. The point I'm trying to tell you is that, maybe this is a symptom of U.S., mentality, because we all, if you live in the U.S., capitalism is the name of the game, right? You want to make more money, based on your merit. You want to increase, you want to buy stuff up, you want to merge, you want to do business deals. But at some point, you could become so big and you could become so power hungry and greedy, and you could start boxing niggas out on some DPOY shit that nobody could compete, right? Like, part of what Amazon does, when they were trying to get big, they would say, hey, if you could find a cheaper price somewhere else, tell us. We'll just make our price the same amount. We didn't give a fuck about losing. They wanted to make sure that other stores that would compete against them couldn't last. What is Amazon now? Damn, they're the biggest online store ever. So monopoly usually is at the aim of the game towards everything. Now let's get back to what we're talking about with this Live Nation thing. Initially, when it came time for music, the idea of music and live music was not the quintessential place that artists look towards trying to make money. The idea of the music industry was you put out records and you hope they got bought. Okay? It took about 30 years for really touring to become like, oh, this is a big moneymaker. At first, touring was seen as promotion. You were promoting the music that you were giving away. I'll give you an example. Artists never really cared about, the idea of performing as much because it was never seen as, just straight promotion. So what artists usually did is that they would charge little to nothing, just more than enough to like cover their stay or cover the performance stuff. But it was more of a give back to the fans. To put things in a comparison, to make things a little bit quick, in terms of you guys understanding, back in the day, one of the first concerts, or not first concerts technically, but like, let's go off the Beatles, right? So the Beatles, they would go on tour, and when they went on tour, like they would go to a city and they're trying to promote their music, they would do like 8 concerts, right? Trying to promote their music to those fans. And they would sell the tickets at that time because it was seen as promotion more than we're on tour. They would sell the tickets for what's now, adjusted to inflation. It was like 50 cents at the point. But adjusted to inflation, their highest ticket, like a VIP ticket, would be like $60. That's what it would cost now. Why am I telling you that? I'm telling you that now because that was when the mentality of the artist and the business was you do shows to promote the record. Now, honestly, that's the most profitable part of music. Streams, yeah, but like that benefits the label. Other than streams, most artists get an advance and they don't see any more recoup usually. Most artists are getting money from getting booked on shows. So over 30 years or so, we've seen this music industry be heavily dependent on this idea of touring and live performances. Okay, so you understand that, right? Now, one of the big differences, so back in the day, it would be like $50 or $60 for like a really good ticket to see, like, we adjust it to inflation, it would be like $2, right? But what adjusting it for inflation now, it'd be like $60, a really good ticket to see the fucking Beatles. Nowadays, Beyonce's charging $2,000. Taylor Swift is charging $5,000. And Bad Bunny's charging an arm and a fucking leg. You get what I'm saying? Like, and Coachella, like fucking Coachella. Yo, somebody told me they paid $70,000 to go. Like, what? So the point what I'm trying to tell you is that the business has changed. But while that business changed, what happened? Well, here comes Live Nation. Live Nation comes in and they're a promoter. They're a promoter that says, yo, check this out, man. We are going to, help these artists, like, get into these venues and whatever. Now, I'll tell you when touring changes and when places like a company like Live Nation kicks up. Touring was never profitable. There weren't ready set venues for some of these artists. And if you didn't bring enough people out, it didn't make sense. So for example, the Beatles doing 7 shows or 8 shows in a weekend, but it was to like a couple hundred people. It was like, bruv, financially, you're exerting way more time than you could make. Now they're huge, right? Like one of the most historic groups. They realized that this was an actual market when they did a venue, and I forgot how much the venue was, and they cleared hundreds of thousands in profit. It was like, whoa, this is a thing. They did one concert, and that happened. The next thing that happened was the NBA, NHL, and a bunch of other sports companies. They started to build arenas. Arenas really set this thing going on. So now the bigger artists could have a singular place to bring out 20,000 people. Because the idea of like having these little concert venues with 1,500, you're a big artist, you're going to have to do 9 concerts, 10 concerts, right? Now you have one venue, 14,000 people, 15,000 people, one night, 1.5 hours or 1 hour, whatever, you get a lot of money, right? You could keep the price the same, but now you get more people, right? That was the whole point, because it financially didn't make sense to do shows. But now it made sense because you could have bigger venues, keep the price around the same, you make more money. So Live Nation comes in, and Live Nation's like, all right, bet. Okay, cool. We're going to be the conduit here, and we're going to figure out everything we need to do. They start working with these labels. They start working with these artists. And they've always had like this, this mentality where everything in this ticketing, or not to say ticketing, but this touring infrastructure, we're going to get ourselves. So rather than work with another company, they would just kind of develop their own company that did it. Now, at first they started working with other companies, but they would always develop their own company as well. It's like, imagine Apple needs chips, and, Apple probably got to go talk to some, person or some company in Taiwan, all right, to fucking get the chips. But imagine Apple's like, we're going to make our own chips in North Dakota, right? And to the point that they make every single thing for the phone, and then they push all the other phone competitors out of it. So now they make every part of the phone. They own the phone. There's no more other phones. That's what we call a monopoly, right? So Live Nation comes in, and they start doing all type of deals. So they'll go to a venue and they say, hey, listen, we represent all these people. We want to get an exclusive deal with you. We're going to bring you, I don't know, we'll bring you 150 shows this year. However, we're going to sign this deal with you. If we bring you 150 shows this year, you can't go out of our network and go do a deal with another promoter to bring in like 3 or 5. No. It got to be exclusive, right? Got to be exclusive. They did that with a bunch of people, and shit, it's kind of like, if you think about it, it makes sense, right? Like, oh, you're bringing me 150, cool. But that's a really good thing in, business-wise, but it turns predatory and turns into a monopoly or monopolistic when over time you eliminate every single person. So the Ticketmaster thing happens. Live Nation was beefing with Ticketmaster at a point, right? They were beefing with them. So Live Nation started making their own ticketing thing. Like, you know what, fuck Ticketmaster, we're going to make our own. Essentially based on a really like back and forth vigorous, what they did, and for all of this Live Nation stuff, I know you ain't going to like when I say this, but what I'm saying is just simply facts. The one person we have to be blamed for all this Live Nation, like Ticketmaster stuff, is former President Barack Obama. His Department of Justice back at that time allowed the merger of Live Nation and Ticketmaster. It's like allowing the two big bad bullies to link up and bully everybody. So both of them were already on some bully shit, and you let the two bullies, it's like basically right now, it's like the NBA commissioner letting Luka, Shea Gilchrist, and fucking, what's that nigga name? Wembanyama just all get on the same team and be like, the rest of y'all niggas deal with it. Like, what the fuck? You can't let all the best players just link up. They're going to eliminate. So essentially, the Department of Justice back then, there's always been this rule about monopolies, right? Like the government is supposed to make sure in this country that no company could create an environment in business that is anti-competitive. That's why you have a lot of these, these agencies that are going to analyze the businesses to make sure one company's not making it so unfair that no one else could compete. Well, when Barack Obama gets in there, and this is where it's politics as usual, people. I'm not saying Barack did anything specifically, but his Department of Justice, his administration. Live Nation starts spending a bag. Like, they got all the money. They're like, that's the thing about being a big company, right? They start lobbying, and what happens is they basically end up getting the lawmakers, so the people on Capitol Hill and also the people within the Department of Justice, their mentality about monopolies stopped from being, which this is the original thought about monopolies. A company can't get so big that it turns the actual field where they're competing in. Like if Amazon is so big, if somebody wants a loaf of bread, they're going to go to Amazon. Like people can't even think of another store. That's a problem, right? That's a monopoly. So during Barack Obama's administration, their DOJ, because of the lobbying, that's what people think a lot. And by the way, keep in mind, at this point, there's a bunch of, I think Pearl Jam. This is a group called Pearl Jam. They testified up there to the Congress, and they were like, yo, we want to sell tickets with other people. We want to go do other things, but Live Nation, like, you had artists saying, like, these guys, we can't, there's no competition. And basically, they got laughed out the building. Like, you know, there's an infamous thing where they actually said they felt like they were being seen as a joke because the Congress people just wanted pictures with them. They really wasn't thinking about whatever they really were saying. But the reality was nobody's going to feel bad for artists that are rich already. So in Barack Obama's DOJ, they started to have the mentality of when it comes to what do you mean? They had the mentality of when it comes to reducing. Wait, hold on. I'm like losing my train of thought. Their mentality on monopoly was about not having. It wasn't about someone dominating the field. It was about the consumer. So it's like, who cares if a company gets to be crazy big? Who cares? The point of all of this should be if the consumer gets the best deal. And that becomes interesting, right? So the instant thought of if you could get the consumer the best deal, who cares if they're buying from the biggest company that no one could compete with? Which, if you think about it, is anti-competitive because there can't be a new company that ends up competing because it's thought that the bigger companies give the better deal anyway. Anyway, whatever. Cool. So that became the thought. Live Nation, Ticketmaster, they end up merging. And ever since then, they've been just doing like a lot of fuck shit. Again, they own 450 companies. They try to get in every fucking aspect except, you know, they have respect for the labels. They don't try to be a label, but they try to get in management. That's why you get the Rock Nation. They have a couple other management companies too. So the Rock Nation was a partnership, a venture to get into management, right? So they want to be part of management. They want to own the parking lots. They want to own the food that goes in there. They start investing in drink companies. They'll be like, okay, well, let's figure out what kids would like to drink when they're at a fucking festival raging. Okay, we're going to get a deal with that beverage company, and only that beverage company could be sold in the venue. So if you think about it, that's like, if you get to control every aspect of someone going to a concert, come on, right? Like if you could control every aspect, and essentially that's what they were doing. Okay. So they basically was doing that. And to the point where they prevent other companies. Like, for example, you buy a ticket. Say you want to buy a ticket from SeatGeek, right? If you want to buy a ticket from SeatGeek, you can't buy a ticket from SeatGeek, right? Because SeatGeek isn't going to get allocated tickets for an event. They got to have scalpers that kind of put it on basically a tertiary market. And Ticketmaster just owns everything. So I'm being a little bit long-winded here, but the point is Live Nation, Ticketmaster, complete monopoly. It's like the easiest monopoly. It's not even like they allow another monopoly to exist. There's something... There's a duopoly. Let me see. What companies are seen as duopolies? There's a duopoly that is there's a couple duopolies. Which one is it? I'm trying to think of one specifically. I'm trying to see. Airbus and Boeing. Apple, Coca-Cola, no. There's one duopoly I'm not like thinking of, but like sometimes when you know your only op is the biggest op, they'll even work together to keep everybody else out, right? So they'll be like, yo, hey, the government's coming after us. Let's just split the bill, and we're just going to make sure that we're good, right? That happened recently. I don't know why I can't think of it. Anyway. All right, enough explanation of what a monopoly is and how Live Nation's a monopoly. What's this lawsuit about? So I told you, like, there's pretty much unfair practices. If you are a artist, you're relegated to whatever Live Nation wants to pay you. They're the promoter. If you get offered to get paid more by other people, they try to make sure you get flopped. They'll threaten the venues. If the venue wants to bring another promoter and bring an artist that went away from their deal, they'll almost like threaten not to bring extra shows there. They were caught on, on an email chain or a video or audio or something like that, laughing at consumers, saying that, only a stupid ass motherfucker would pay like $100 to park in the grass. Like, they've been really just pushing it, basically calling their consumers clowns. So they got sued. They got a lawsuit in civil court brought by the DOJ, Trump's DOJ, and it was about like 40 states. Well, what happened was, and I told you this, Trump's DOJ settled, and their settlement was like, they're going to pay back a couple $2 billion, and they were going to divest a few things. And not to get into the weeds of it, but just to kind of tell you the impact, basically it was 3 days of their earning for a year. So the amount of money that to pay back, basically that's 3 days worth of income, right? So the 3 days of income, that's what they had to pay off for a settlement, and just kind of agree not to be too mean again. Pretty much nothing, but at least the DOJ could say, we got to win. Most of the states didn't like that. They're like, that's not a fucking win. Like, we want this monopoly to stop. So they continued when the feds fell out. So the feds said, we're good. We're not going to keep going. They wanted, the state said, now we want to keep going. Now, what happened today is that it went through an entire trial, and people have testified, a lot of people that were either affected or even some people who used to work for Live Nation, they all testified. And I ain't gonna lie to you, I didn't think Live Nation had a defense at all. And clearly they didn't, because after the case was ended, and some people thought that the states were going to be disadvantaged. Why? The feds were running the case at first. So the lead plaintiff was the DOJ, the feds. They dropped out, and everybody else is just states. And the states actually ran it. I think New York led it. But as of today, it was reported that Live Nation got found liable on all counts in this antitrust trial. I want to give you a little bit of update.
Breaking news, a verdict has been reached in the antitrust trial against entertainment giant Live Nation. A jury found Live Nation unfairly created a monopoly over the ticket market. The jury reached its decision on the fourth day of deliberations. Live Nation settled with the Justice Department and several states back in March, but more than 30 states did not settle at that time, and they continued forward with this case. Let's bring in NBC News business and economy reporter Ali Canal, and NBC News legal analyst Misty Maris is with us as well. Ali, I'll go to you first because we are just getting all this in. What essentially has gone down here with this jury? It looks like they're finding again and again and again against Live Nation.
Yeah,
Ticketmaster.
Live Nation, which is the parent company of Ticketmaster, found liable on every count. And the big one was that it maintained monopolistic power over the live ticketing industry. So this was a really high stakes antitrust trial, especially considering that the Justice Department settled with Live Nation just last month. And a lot of legal experts who I spoke with about this case, they said that what happened with that DOJ settlement, that would likely set the floor of what we could see remedy-wise with this state case. So we have the jury saying that Live Nation has operated as a monopoly. A judge will then go and decide the remedies, and then we'll know what changes that Live Nation has to do. And as a reminder, after that DOJ settlement, they had to make certain changes to their business, like capping service fees at 15%, divesting some of those Live Nation-owned amphitheaters. But this is just going to be a big moment when it comes to the future of how this company operates.
Well, I want to ask Misty about that because, this as we said, is separate and apart from what the Department of Justice did. But now you've got all these states winning here. So could this mean even more change for Live Nation? Could this mean they have to structurally change the way they do business?
It absolutely can, because that's the next step. The judge will make a decision on whether or not, with respect to these monopoly claims, which they're found liable across the board on all four. That's the federal law that says you cannot have a monopoly that stifles competition. And because they were found liable on those claims, the judge will then make a determination at a future hearing about what remedy would rectify that. So the question is, will it be structural remedies, which means possibly breaking up the companies, or behavioral remedies, changing to the way the business operates? The DOJ has settled, but that doesn't mean that more isn't to come. And then it's also important to note, so this is separated into two different types of claims. You have those federal Sherman Antitrust Act claims, and then you have state claims brought under state consumer frauds, legal theories. So that all played out in court, and we have liability essentially across the board on this.
And so Live Nation could probably almost certainly will appeal, right, Misty? Is that expected?
There's no question that Live Nation, Ticketmaster, they're going to appeal. This is going to be tied up in the appellate courts for likely years to come. And during that time...
Yeah, so, trying to give you some, just some layman's term explanation here. When you're a billionaire company like this, there is a win that the states got a victory, because remember, Trump is a lame duck president, right? And what happens is that DOJ is going to be out of there by 2028. When they appeal, if it was a Fed situation, as long as the appeals go past 2028, the next group of DOJ people that are, sworn in by the next president, they're not going to give too much of a fuck. But these states, they're listening to their direct constituents. New York specifically. If you've gone to a Knicks game, you go to a game that, they have so many concerts venues in New York City. They're all tied in with Live Nation. Live Nation has them, again, we also got to give a little bit of credit to Taylor Swift. She helped get the ball moving or rolling with some of this stuff, because people got mad that they couldn't get her tickets. It wasn't available on secondary markets. And then when it was, it felt like Live Nation just reissued the tickets, like marked up like 1,000,000,000%. Also, they allowed quote unquote scalper bots to kind of like get all in there. So it's gonna be a thing.
Time. That consent decree is what we call that agreement between the DOJ and the states that decided to settle Live Nation and Ticketmaster will go into effect. So there'll be a question about, by the time this plays out in the appellate courts, what else needs to be done, if anything?
And Ali, for people sitting at home thinking, all right, I bought tickets through, Ticketmaster or Live Nation, is anything going to happen for all those customers who, have spent so much money on tickets?
I wish I could say, yes, that means they're going to have cheaper tickets. But the more likely scenario is that whatever remedies we do get, this is going to take a long, long time to play out. And also, this case was really focused on whether or not Live Nation has maintained a monopoly in this market, not really about those high ticket prices.
Yeah.
And you also have to remember that the unregulated secondary resale market, that's usually the culprit when we look at these higher prices. So still a lot more to come. But if this does create more competition, that in theory could lower prices for fans.
Yeah, just to let everybody know, these type of monopolies, they spend so much. They probably spend whoever their competitor is, they probably spend that amount of money in just lobbying, right? Like, that's how big Live Nation is. Whoever their second competitor is, like, even if we're talking about it on a ticket level, like, let's say StubHub. Whatever StubHub makes for the year, they'll probably Live Nation probably spend that just lobbying. And I could see the remedies being some slap on the wrist again. Oh, okay, all right, pay back a couple billion. Or not even maybe a couple billion. It might just be a couple million, or it's gonna be a lot million, but like 600 million. These venues, you got to give away 20% of the tickets to like the free market. Like, okay, so you control 80% instead of 100%. Like, come on, it's not gonna change if you ask me. But that remains to be seen. Just to kind of give you a little bit more about the companies owned by Live Nation. According to the SEC, these are like 400 companies. Just think about. If you think you could beat Live Nation, nigga, you heard what Pooh actually said. If you think you got more shots than CG, come and try your luck. Well, if you think you got more shots than Live Nation, try your luck, nigga. Okay, they got it all of this shit. When you look, you'll see Rock Nation under here. Rock Nation LLC, advertising, Latin, management, publishing, records, sports, boxing. Like, they got everything. You'll see Rolling Loud. Like, yo, they got everything. Sal & Co. Sal & Co. management. You know what that is? That's I think that's XO. Honestly, I think isn't Sal & Co. XO? Am I tripping? Unless I'm tripping. I might be bugging on that. Yeah. Yeah. So that's backed by Live Nation. Look, they own every ticket thing. Ticketmaster, they own all that shit. Man, these motherfuckers. And if you're talking about wireless, the company that owns wireless is called Festival Republic. They own that too. Like, look, it's based in England and Wales. Like, my nigga, they own everything. God damn. You can't fuck with Live Nation, man. They own every motherfucking thing, bruv. Everything. They own a bunch of House of Blues. House of Blue restaurant. Oh my God, you cannot get around these niggas. Own a bunch of amphitheaters. Jesus. Yeah, you go down here, you realize, no need to even compete. Just got to get down with them. What else do they own? Most of these are international now. Rock Nation UK? What the fuck? Okay. All right. Anyway, that is the latest on the whole Rock Nation Ticketmaster thing. How does that affect y'all? Right? I know somebody's like, yo, keep it simple. How does it affect us? We don't give a fuck. Well, I'll tell you how it affects you. These days, most artists are making music to go on tour. Most artists are gaining the majority of their money by touring. I gave you the example of Youngboy. Signs a $35 to $40 million record deal, which is multi-year, goes on a tour for 4 months, makes 70 to 80 million. You could see, now granted, he's not taking home exactly 70 to 80, but you could make a lot more money if you're a touring artist than if you're an artist just making music relying on recoupment. So based on that, we're in a touring era where the business of music is about trying to make more money touring than anything else. It's the reason why y'all want to go to more shows now than ever. And this is why they keep announcing bigger and bigger venues. Jay-Z says, I'm coming to the fucking Yankee Stadium. That's how it is. So how is it going to affect you? Well, ticket prices have been going up and up. You know, by the way, Live Nation, the CEO in 2025 says the tickets weren't expensive enough. Yo, chat. They said the tickets, Live Nation CEO, he has a net worth of look, his net worth is $1 billion. He said concert tickets been underpriced for a long time. You know what that means? Y'all niggas need to pay more. He compared popular sports concerts to sports games, insinuating that sports fans actually enjoy spending thousands on a ticket. By this logic, concert goers should embrace higher prices or at least learn to like it. says music been underappreciated. He says in sports, I joke it's like a badge of honor to spend 70 grand for a Knicks courtside seats. He says they beat me up if we charge 800 for Beyonce. Jesus Christ. Like, oh my God. I got to hear him say this out of his mouth. Like, what the fuck? While speaking, it's a CNBC. That's insane, chat. Yo, I ain't gonna lie to you. Yo, when Drake go on tour, yo, oh y'all lose my number, yo. I'm pulling up to Drake Dolo. CNBC. Oh, okay, I think this is it right here. Yeah, this is it.
So when Travis comes up here, I'll tell you about that. So,
yeah, when you were in this business, what was the difference?
Well, you know, the live show is, you know, the artist is going to make 98% of their money from the show. The record label, all the other ways they made money is irrelevant now. The show is where they're making their money. So when Travis comes up here, I'll tell you about that. So, you know, the show now, you know, we just did the Beyonce tour. You know, she's got 62 transport trucks outside. That's a Super Bowl she's putting on every night. 10 years ago, There might have been 12 trucks. So these artists are doing their job, elevating that game. And when you come to that show, it's a fabulous experience. So yes, the cost has gone up, but the investment and the experience.
Okay, what's happened to margin? Given the costs of the production have gone up.
Yeah.
Are they in line? Is the production gone up in line with tickets?
Oh,
Has it gone up
100%.
Even more than tickets?
It depends on artists, right? You know, most of the artists we're talking about, they're forfeiting margin for the experience. You know, I've never met an artist that says, how rich can I get tonight? They're playing long, right? So they know the great experience. So you think about an artist, when they take that, you hear about these $100 million grosses, that artist, depending on the show, he might only take home 30% of that. He's spending 70 on the show. Some artists maybe have less production, they can take 50. But no, artists are waking up, making sure that show, and they're investing in that, and they're playing long.
Right. For you, music is a better business, though, than selling tickets for sports, I assume.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. I mean, you know, I think music has been underappreciated. You know,
here we go.
I always joke, sports, it's like a badge of honor to spend 70 grand for a Knicks courtside. They beat me up if we charge 800 for Beyonce, right? You know, so.
Yo, this guy's a sick guy, man. Yo, stop the cap too. Yo, it definitely. Let's look at some tickets. By the way, I ain't gonna lie to you, chat. Even the tickets that I'm selling. Yo, we had a conversation. I ain't trying to call them out because you know what I mean. You can't go against these motherfuckers. But chat, tell me how we went back. So we agree. I told him the price I want. I said, bro, like I'm not trying to make a killing off this. I'm really just trying to cover costs, cheapest price possible. Right? We come out to it. We're like, yo, I would like to charge like $35, $40 for like GA. If you want to do meet and greets, like I guess like 100 or whatever. But $35, $40, that's a ticket, right? Bruv, we tell these motherfuckers that. These motherfuckers come back and they list on the site, at least at first, higher prices. Like they just put the price up like, yeah, fuck them niggas. So we went back to, we're like, yo, bruh. But I think if you guys did buy early tickets and they charge you more, they should have gave you a refund because I was so upset. I was like, yo, bro, they're looking at it. I ain't gonna lie. Yo, Ticketmaster, Live Nation, they don't give a fuck, bro. Like, they're just like, yo, let's rob these niggas, man. Anyway, let's look at who has announced a tour. I know the Chris Brown shit ain't out here, right? Chris Brown and Usher ain't out here, right? We got to see how this shit gonna look. Oh, okay. Oh, the pre-sale ain't start. We got to see what the price is looking like. Gang. And then, you know, they have all these, like, deals with these, like, City Card or whatever. So, like, you get preferential. Bro, could I just see what the tickets finna look like? Oh, let's look at the Cardi B tickets. I don't think Cardi B tickets gonna be too expensive. Whose tickets is like, yo? Whose tickets is wild expensive? Let me see. Let's look for Cardi B. I just want to see how it's looking. Her tour is doing good. Okay, she finna be in Atlanta. When she finna be in Atlanta? Was it tomorrow? Oh shit. Okay, she finna be in Atlanta tomorrow. Let's go see what a Cardi. Oh damn, her shit is sold out in Atlanta. Holy! All right, let's go. We're gonna find like a verified resale ticket or whatever. So if we want to sit here, this is like, what's this? 5th row? What the fuck? $2,000? Ah, hell nah. $2,000 for 5th row? Yo, chat, I ain't gonna cap with you. The first time I saw Drake, remember I told you, this is when Drake, like, the first time I saw Drake, I bought 2 tickets. I bought a ticket for me and I bought a ticket for my brother. We went to Philly because I wanted to see if he was gangster enough to perform back to back there. Like, I just wanted to watch what was going to happen. And he did. No. Actually, it wasn't that. Was it that? I'm trying to see. Was it that? No, it was that. Yeah, it was that back-to-back time. Yeah, I think he was either with Future, like he was bringing Future on tour, or he brought Migos on tour. I can't remember which one it was. But I remember I wanted a good ticket. I didn't want the binoculars seat. I wanted a good ticket. So I remember paying, it was probably like 4th row or 5th row. Maybe it was something like that, but I was kind of close up. I paid $600 and I thought that was a lot. $600 for me, $600 for my brother. I was like, that's a lot of fucking cash. But it's Aubrey. You just got to give it up. You feel what I'm saying? You just got to give it up. It's boy Aubrey. You know what I mean? It was a great time. It was good. Imagine then, so that's about 10 years ago, right? So in 2026, to get in the 5th row for Cardi B is $2,300? Ah, hell nah. Now, there's nothing wrong with Cardi B because I'm imagining Drake shit gonna be like 5,000. The point is, I'm trying to show you the inflation. It's just like, these days, if I go to a concert, if a nigga not giving it his all, man, well, first of all, thank God I get tickets for free. But if I'm y'all and y'all gotta pay, I'm just giving a comparison. 10 years ago, this is a $600, let's say resell, maybe $800, $900. They've doubled the price on y'all niggas. Y'all niggas, they've doubled the price on y'all niggas. If these artists ain't coming out like Chris Brown doing 15 somersaults, 20 cartwheels, backflip, doing some skateboard tricks like niggas walking on the walls, skywalking, like pyrotechnics all over the place, and y'all paying $2,000? Man, y'all niggas is tripping. Y'all niggas is tripping, chat. Now, granted, shout out to Cardi. She gotta get her coins. I love Cardi. Yo, Cardi told me how much she was making for these shows. Yo, Cardi's a fucking star. The amount Cardi making for these shows. Yo, Cardi making so much for the shows. When she told me, when she's like, so, you know, she's talking, she's like, yo, act. She's like, I still got to go do these after parties, child. Why did I love saying child? Anyway. After I seen how much she was getting for the show and then the after party, I'm like, why the fuck you even go? She's like, I ain't leaving no motherfucking money. I got kids. I'm like, I understand that. But yo, she's getting a bag. Yo, she's getting a bag. I'm about to hit her up like, yo, I need some money to gamble. No, I'm playing. It's a joke. But no, for real. She is, you know, and by the way, she's selling out all these junks. She just brought out Vibes Cartel. Y'all see her bring up Vibes Cartel? Oh, when I night, you pussy sweet like sonat. Come in on my ramping shop. Look. Oh, shit. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I give Cardi a lot of credit for this fucking performance too. She's in heels the whole time. She's in heels the whole time. She go to the strip club. She's still making it clap. She's still dancing and shit like that. You know what I mean? I asked her ass. I'm like, ain't you tired? It's like, yes, I be tired as fuck. I gotta get that bread. I'm like, damn, hardworking woman. I like that. I like that. Shout out to Cardi. Yo, everybody loves Jamaicans, man. Everybody loves Jamaicans. Yo, Cardi B's ass fatter than a swamp possum, nigga. Like, yo. Yo, is that just... I guess that's what happened after you had a couple kids, right? Her shit's fat, huh? Oh, shit. Nah, it's going, though. It's going. Yo, y'all see them trying to make fun of my boy Vibes Cartel, his haircut? Man. Let me see. Vibes Cartel. Man, if they don't stop. This is a Vibes Cartel I like, though. Yo, people would say, yo, because he shouted out his barber and posted this. Niggas like, yo, I don't know if you should have shouted this nigga out at all. Yo, nah, this is the classic moon cut by Vibes Cartel. Legendary. Legendary right here. Look. Yo. Yo, they said, look at the barber's face. Yo, you got to realize. They said Vibes Cartel done a couple of niggas, like straight up. Like you gotta know why he was in jail for 13 years. Like, yo, Vibes Cartel, they said the barber looked like he thinking about his life. Like, yo.
You're feeling platinum cuts. Look on the cut. Right now, I'm 50, I feel like 10. I watch you now, as me start grow again, I call my friend. What this under me nose? Alright.
Oh, shit. That's a tight line, though. This is the world boss, man. Vibes Cartel never had a normal lineup in his whole life. It's fine. This is the Vibes Cartel cut right here. This is the moon cut. This is the moon cut right here. I think this is a fire cut right here. This is the best I've seen his hair look. Yo, chat. They take the thing off. Yo, you know when like the barber done doing all this shit, spraying you like over here like, God damn, nigga, you getting this shit in my mouth, nigga, what the fuck? But all that shit is done, and then he about to take the little bib thing off and whatever, and he about to bring the mirror in, and you like, that first time you open your eyes is like, if you open your eyes and you got the Vibes Cartel, the world boss over moon cut, and he said, yo, it's fire, right? What you gonna say to him?
In Florida, you're feeling platinum cuts. Look on the cut.
Now, Vibes Cartel look like he's 30 here. Yo, he's finally reverse aging now. At first, he was aging into the future. He's aging past now. We like this. No, we like this.
Right now, I'm 50, I feel like 10.
And?
I watch you now, as me start grow again, I call my friend. What this under me nose?
Nah. I'm rocking with it. Anyway. Oh, this is some more shit. Very special if you want it, you can have it. So much. Oh, she's killing it, and he's killing it too. Now they're both killing it. I love it. Oh, that's fire. Okay, that's dope. Okay. Yeah, her shit is sold the fuck out. Wait, is her show ending in Atlanta? Shit, I might have to go to Atlanta, chat. I need to catch one of these bitches. Let me see. Yeah, both of the shows sold out. Not one ticket available. Not one. All these they're resale tickets. Oh, actually, there is one. There's one ticket right here. It's gonna be sold out. What the fuck? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You're in the 9th row. $1,200. Oh man. Nah, Cardi, get your money, girl. But I ain't gonna cap with you. If this is what Cardi's concert looking like, imagine when you see Chris Brown and Usher. Mortgage, rent not getting paid, bitches selling pussy for 3 weeks to get a ticket. Like, this shit gonna be crazy. This shit gonna be crazy. Nah, this is out of pocket, chat. Yo, these concert tickets are going up. Hold on, let me go to Jay-Z. Let me see. All right, let me see how much Jay-Z charging. Oh my God. How much y'all think 10th row? I know it's sold out, but what you think 10th row Jay-Z charging? Cardi charging $1,200. What y'all think Jigga charging? Let's go see. Let's go see, chat. No, Yankee Stadium. Yankee Stadium. Here we go. Here we go, chat. 10th row. Bumbleclot. This is a stadium. Okay. All right, let's get it here. Let's get down to the weeds. All right. Let's go right here, right? Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, exactly with Cardi. That was Cardi's ninth row. Now this is a stadium, so there's mad more seats. But let's see how it's looking. Fuck. Bumbleclot, dog. $3,000. 10th row. 9th. Oh, my God. $3,000 for the 10th row. Nigga, I paid $3,000 for a fucking ticket, nigga. That's a vacation, nigga. I'm on stage with you, nigga. I'm on there like little mama, nigga. Fuck all that, nigga. I don't know how y'all paying these type of tickets, nigga. Fuck that, nigga. $3,000, that's a vacation, nigga. Nigga, that's a cruise, nigga. That ain't even a jet 2 hour they ain't gonna cost. Chat, I'm on stage, little mama shit, nigga. What the fuck? Chat, who paying this shit? Yo, chat. I can't even. I gotta wait to see what Beyonce tickets is costing. Yo, at that point, somebody said those are resale. I know it's resale, but like, if it's resale, it's probably, it's a market. So, all right, let's see if we can find a non-resale. Yeah, everything's sold out. All right, we're gonna go to day 2 or day 3. Let's go to day 2. Maybe we can find one ticket. But we need a ticket up close. Non-resale, since you're like, there's resale. Yeah, all right, nigga. Keep in mind, this fucking arena holds like 50,000. You know how much money that this nigga's making, man? Yeah, 4,000, man. You spend $4,000 for this nigga breathing into the mic like a camel bob. Like, hell nah, nigga. Like, you think you about to see a special guest and nigga bring out Memphis Bleak, nigga? Like, all of a sudden here, do my ladies run this motherfucker? Man. Yo, I paid $5,000. You better reunite with Dame on that stage, nigga. You better reunite with Dame on the stage. What the fuck? $5,000? 5,000? Yo, Dame better come on that motherfucking stage. Nigga, you better bring out the whole Rockefeller. Yo, Freeway, come on out. Beans, you too. Hey, Marie, come on. Hey, come on. Up, you, come on. Yeah, you too. Come on. Everybody come on. Everybody run on stage. Right now. Just Blaze, go make a beat right now. Right now. Right motherfucking now, nigga. Yeah. $5,000. Nigga, for $5,000, nigga, we better see everything, nigga. Like $5,000, move the nigga. Yo, you know how them big ass festivals they be having like the sign language niggas would be like, yo, who are you there for? Which nigga done paid $5,000 to watch the sign language nigga give it up? Man, get out of here. Yo, bring Beyonce's dance group on there. We just need some. We need twerking during all the intermissions. That's the worst part about concerts. You waiting for the main performer, but they be haters at concert. They don't want to play the hot songs, so they be like playing like, they be playing like motherfucking random like escalator or elevator music. You're like, what the fuck? At least get this place lit. Put Beyonce dancers right where the fucking sign language person would be and have them twerking the entire time. $5,000? Yo, $5,000 we karaokeing, bro. Yo, for $5,000 we're karaokeing. You know what they should do at concerts? For $5,000, I need a DVD or I need like a fucking MP4 a concert I went to. Like, that will make it worth it. Well, not 5,000. 5,000 is a while. You know what they should do at concerts? It's like, you know when you go on a ride at Six Flags, they'd be like, hey, you want to pay for the pictures? Like, yeah, we got the pictures of you screaming like a bitch on the ride. Yo, they should at least have like these aerial drones. They be having like 30 drones in these joints. Nigga, I'm up in Barclays. I'm like, there's like 4 drones up here. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Where that footage go? My thing is, give the people, like, have it film the crowd, have it film a little bit of the performance, and give people like a downloadable way to relive the memory of the $5,000 fucking dollars they just lost by watching your ass. If I spend, like, put like this, I wouldn't even spend $5,000 on pussy I could only fuck once. Like, yo, $5,000 sound like a subscription. Like, yo, I'm not a pay for pussy type of nigga, but like, if I spend $5,000, it can't be once. That's a subscription right there. That's a yearly subscription. Shorty, it's the 1st and it's the 15th. Yo, it's time to fuck. Stop playing. Stop playing. Yo, what are you doing? Nah, stop playing. Stop playing. 5,000 in for one time. This is some shit I gotta enjoy throughout the time. Netflix is only charging me $20. You can't charge 5,000 for 20 minutes. Fuck out of here. Hell nah. Hell nah. This is a subscription at this point. Yo, this is a subscription. Facts. I need to experience this shit more than one time. So you tell me I done paid $5,000 to go see Jay-Z, and my only memory is this fucking camera phone footage of me just shouting, he should have SOB to that. No. I need it in full 4K quality. I need to relive this a little bit more. Fuck out of here, man. $5,000? Man, $5,000, y'all niggas getting out of pocket, bro. Yo, $5,000, it better be like, yo, bring your own alcohol or something, like bring your own bottle. BYOB? Yeah, nigga, all right, BYOB. I came through with my Henny. I bet. We cooking now. Because think about this. If you spend $5,000 on the tickets, bro, is you going to get a drink? Oh, hell nah. $100 per drink. You'll never get drunk up in that bitch. The amount of warnings your fucking credit card company going to send you before you get drunk, as soon as you about to get drunk, Chase hits you again. Fraud alert. Why the fuck did you spend $120 on one fucking drink? You're going broke. You're like, oh shit, I'm sober, nigga. I'm sober. God damn. Yo, you ain't gonna get drunk in a fucking, at these concerts, the Jay-Z concert, when you gotta check your bank account before swiping your card. You online, you like, damn. You know, you with your shorty, so you trying to check it on the side and be like, make sure your shit don't get declined, because ain't no worse feeling your shit getting declined. And everybody's just looking like, what's up, nigga? Like, yo, hurry up. Damn. So you spending $100 a drink. Yo, you know, parking like $200. Or even if you say, nah, you know what? I'm gonna just call it Uber. They have a event pricing. Like, nigga, you in a bummy Honda Civic. You paying black truck price. Yo, this shit is wild. Yo, chat, this whole thing's a finesse. This whole thing's a finesse, chat. I can't even lie to you. The whole joint's a finesse. Yo ass at Yankee Stadium on some take me out to the ball game shit, nigga. Shut the fuck up. You trying to get a hot dog, $30, nigga. $30. Yo, I went to the Barclays. Hey, all my Barclays staff, you know I ain't gonna roast y'all. I love y'all because y'all treat me good when I come through. Oh, Ak is here. Come on, let's roll out. Thank you, guys. But, yo, let me tell you, yo, chat. I knew the Barclays was burnt out. I went there to go see Vibes Cartel. I don't know if they have this all the time. Bruv, they got jerk chicken and oxtail up in there. I said, Joe. Nigga, it was like 100 a plate, bro. This shit was wild, bro. Nigga, by the time you bit into the chicken, nigga, you already at the bone. Nigga, you licking your fingers. It's over. Essentially, they sold you this amount of Jamaican food for $100. This shit's crazy, chat. I don't know if you ever seen it. Go to the Barclays. It smelled good when you walking by. You know what you had all the food at home. Your mama cooked. Your girl cooked. You passed 20 restaurants on the way going, but once you there, the food smells better. I don't know what it is. You get there, you say, "Oh shit, they got Jamaican." Nigga, I ordered the food, nigga. By the time I could get the food, you know me, I'm a nigga. I'm gonna eat on the way. I gotta eat on the way until I'm go. Bruv, before I pass the first trash can, nigga, the food's already done. Like one bite out of the chicken, disintegrated is nowhere. What the fuck? Chat. Essentially, $100 per plate, one bite of food. I've never seen. It's the biggest finesse ever. They got me. They got me though. Yo, they're making a killing. Yo, you spend $5,000 for a ticket. Their goal is this. All right, spend $5 for the ticket. We gonna get you for 2 bands elsewhere. Facts. $300 for the parking. Oh, you want to expedite it? All right, we got you with another fee. Oh, you want a drink? $100 per drink. Oh, you want some food? All right, bet. We got you. Don't even go over to the merch table. The merch table is like crazy. The merch table is crazy. Yo, you buying the legit merch, it make you realize, yo, while I was coming up here, there was mad niggas that was selling the same shirt outside the venue for $10. Like, I should have bought that. Should have bought the fake shit. Yo, y'all seen this video recently? It's a video. It's a video of like this guy selling he was selling YoungBoy merch outside. He ain't on one song. The dude kept it real though. He was just like, yo, bro. The nigga was just like, yo, bro, I'm just out here making a living, bro. Like, stop asking me about if I know YoungBoy music. I can't find it. Fuck it. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, chat. I am a little sick of this. Like the tour stuff. And this is coming from a nigga who don't pay for Yo, I'm telling you about this shit, chat, and I don't pay for tickets. Chat, I'm telling you I'm fed up with this shit, and I don't pay for tickets. The artists usually just invite me, like, yo, come through, Wack. Got you, whatever. But when I look at the prices, I'm like, yo, how fans coming to this shit? What? I see why when y'all show up to these shows, these niggas should be singing their heart out, man. God damn. Yeah, Jay-Z gonna have this shit jumping. What other shows coming up? Nah, chat. I'm telling y'all, man. I feel bad for y'all. Well, anyway, I'll give a slight plug. If you don't want to spend $5,000 on a ticket and you want to find some reasonable shit, I could just get tickets to my show, okay? And my show, there is a reasonable, okay? There's a reasonable ticket, all right? That's the aim of the game. Reasonable. There's $35 tickets. Where the hell is 35? Is it back here? Okay. You can get some $35 tickets. If you're trying to be up in the front, you know what I mean? These are meet and greets. We still got meet and greets. But yeah. But let's get to it. All right? If you got 35, that's all we need. 35. And if you're really broke, we'll throw you in the extra bag, bro. Just holler at me, my nigga. Like, just get up in the building, bro. Like, we got you, bro. We got you. All right, man. Yes, my birthday party's coming up. But yeah, all right. Enough ticket talk. What we doing? Yo, they're saying Kendrick Lamar went to Disneyland. Why Kendrick dressed like he Kanye or something like that?